Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Jim Webb, author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as other books, including 30 P's for Prosperity, Prosperity from A to Z, and Manifesting Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board. What I have started doing is live channeled sessions. I will be doing them every Monday until the madness ceases. What triggered it was a great deal of confusion about what was happening in the electoral process, and the confusion continues and only deepens. So many who have seen and benefited from my other videos have asked me to continue, and so I am going to continue. First, I want to say something briefly about channeling, and while I'm doing that, if you have any questions that you want to ask, be sure to put them in the comments, and I will comment on them either after the channel session or the guides who work through me will comment on them. But for now, I want to demystify channeling by giving you background on me. I've been on a spiritual path in one way or another for over 50 years, starting in my teen years when I started reading everything I could about mysticism, Eastern religions, ESP, etc., because I found that I knew things. I deepened that practice through meditation, and through my life experience, I moved on a journey of healing by opening to a greater love and a greater light. I then shared those gifts with others in the form of readings, counseling. I became a minister after being a vice president of a company, and I ultimately do this now for most of my experience. Now, over the years, I've learned to trust the source of light to which I had become attached, and I have been able to move my consciousness out of the way and allow that energy to use my consciousness to transmit its truth from a higher perspective. There's no mystery to it. However, one of the things that you may find is that when I receive this energy, I go into a bit of a euphoric state, and it is simply energy of love and light, and it is electromagnetic in nature. And this electromagnetic energy moves through me, a solid energy. And any time that you observe electromagnetic energy moving through solid energy, there's resistance because the solid energy resists the influx of new electromagnetic energy. That's why copper wires have to be wrapped in rubber to be grounded. And that's why the Quakers and the Shakers used to wait to experience the Holy Spirit, and then they found themselves quaking and shaking. Now, the way that the energy manifests in me and through me as I go out and spirit comes in is that you might see my eyebrows moving around a little bit. That's simply the energy of resistance to my third eye, where the energy concentrates, as well as my heart chakra and my other centers. So I don't want you to be alarmed about that. It's a natural part of the channeling. And I'm going to look at some of the questions we got, as well as some of the questions that we didn't get a chance to address last week. And we'll ask Spirit to address those specifically. One question that we've received is there's this weird imbalance where 3 people have zillions and many others have not. How can this be rebalanced? Is one of the questions that we received. And another question that we received is, and this is a holdover from last week, another question we received is that There is a great deal of a need to make everyone aware of our history so that we don't repeat it. How can we do that when others are trying to suppress our history? And that's another question that we got several times. And so that's a question that we'll handle as well. And I'll ask the guides to work with that. And another question that we received is that we, the guides, want us to empower voters, but how can we do that when corporations control elections? So, how can we exercise our power as individuals? So, we'll handle those questions and others. And with that, I'm going to go out and let spirit come in and let us know that you're here by saying hello. Greetings. It is our honor and pleasure to work with you in this way at this time. We would suggest, first of all, that you breathe and receive the light we would offer to you now. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe and receive the healing light, the grace, and the love that is available to you from the source of all grace, the source of all healing, the source of all light. And it is available to you because you are very worthy, as a reflection of, extension of, and expression of this light. We are preparing you to receive the information we offer you today by connecting you more deeply with the highest power possible, so that healing, supportive, and transformative power can open you in a way that enables you to receive this information at your core or at the deepest level possible for you, that you might then vibrate out this energy, this vibration, and the essence of this information to your world. You are very important to Source as a conduit for this healing. And as we have often stated, the energy and light that you receive, you replicate, magnify, and amplify. You ground it to the earth, and it radiates, touching other beings and having a substantial impact on the overall energy of the earth. So breathe in this light. Breathe in this energy. Breathe in this healing. Breathe in this grace and receive as you choose the following idea. I am safe as the whole and holy beloved of God. And breathe and experience yourself as the whole and holy light of God. There is a light within you that is your true essence. And the light that you receive amplifies and activates this light now. Feel this light within you expanding, and allow this light to receive the energy of transmutation in the idea, I am safe as the holy beloved of God. And experience yourself and your consciousness being lifted, that you might be aware of the light within you that is your essence. This is your holy light. This is your true essence, regardless of your experiences, your gender, your race, your circumstances, your past, your worries, your doubts, or your fears. You are light. You are love. And the light that you perceive, that you receive from outside of you through this exercise and through your willingness to open, this light activates, amplifies, and turns your awareness to the light that you are. Holy, pure, perfect for God's purpose. So just breathe in the idea, I am safe as the holy beloved of God. I am safe as the holy beloved of God. I am safe as the holy beloved of God. And take this in to the deepest degree possible for you. For when you do so, you take this in for the earth. breathe this in. I am safe as the holy beloved of God. I am safe as the holy beloved of God. I am safe as the holy beloved of God. Just breathe this in and allow yourself to connect with a deep soul memory of your oneness with God and your feeling of safety and security at one with God. Just breathe this in and feel in your solar plexus the energy of the idea. I am safe in my oneness with God. Just breathe this in. Just breathe this in. Good. And feel the safety, feel the peace, feel the comfort of tapping into that ancient, eternal energy of oneness with God and the safety and the security that it offers. For when you are in that oneness, you do not feel separation or abandonment. You do not feel guilt or fear punishment due to guilt. And you do not contribute to the energy that would create such illusions. So breathe and feel this deep, healing, transformative power and energy. Just breathe it in. There is more. Just breathe it in. There is more. Just breathe it in. There is more. Good. And we would explain to you why this is so necessary as a precursor to receiving the information we would offer you. This is necessary as a precursor to the information we would offer you because the source of all of the anxiety and anger and rage and fear and dread about your political process right now, no matter who you are, the source of your upset is the part of you that feels fear that you will be hurt, not get what you need, not survive. This is a primal fear triggered by the idea that your life could change drastically, suddenly, and against your will. Now, this is not just the fear of what you call enlightened liberals. This is also the fear of all Americans, no matter where you are on the political spectrum. And this is actually the fear of humanity. The fear that your you would be hurt, that your life would change suddenly against your will. And this fear is based on the false idea that you are separate from God, separate from God's love, and the false idea that that separation has caused you to be unworthy of God's love. That separation has been your banishment from the kingdom of heaven. That separation has caused you to feel unworthy of God's grace and therefore guilty and therefore punishable. And your consciousness fears pain and punishment. Now, this is not true, yet this is what your consciousness has felt, and this is what you have feared. And one of the ways that this inner fear, this existential fear, shows up in your world is in your political processes and what the potential changes might trigger within you. So once you know that you are safe, you can then retain your not only your memory of your innocence and your oneness with God, but your power to create your world, and that power is not, nor has it ever been outside of you. And this is the purpose, one of the many purposes, of all the chaos that you see. Yes, your electoral process is seeming like a soap opera, with this twist this day, this twist that day, this twist the other day, and several twists in a day. And that is because this experience is much more than an election. This experience is a transformative choice that the earth must make. And on many levels, this choice has been made. What you are seeing, as we have stated before, you are seeing the vestiges of resistance. You are seeing the vestiges of your fears. You are seeing the vestiges of everyone's fear. The anger that you have seen that has actually caused violence not only in the last several days, but much political violence over the last several years, and in truth, throughout the history of your country. The anger that you see spilling over, boiling over, the enmity that you see is just deep, deep fear. And for you, yes, it is real, for you have already seen certain of your rights stripped, and you fear that there will be more to be stripped. What this has done is triggered more beings into their own empowerment. Instead of feeling helpless, many beings are accessing their fear and rage and using it as a catalyst to open to their power, the power of their vote, the power of their opinion, the power of their desire. And this ultimately will lead to peace and harmony, because the earth largely has amassed the energy that causes it and allows it to move to the next dimension of experience, where beings see the oneness, the humanness, the dignity, the love, and the light in all beings as unified beings, as opposed to separate warring tribes. And this lesson The earth has absorbed enough energy to internalize this lesson. Now, humans have free will, and you are given every piece of information necessary to make this choice. But as we see it, it is very likely that humans choose the loving path instead of the path of fear, which would simply delay the inevitable and cause more destruction along the way that is unnecessary. So, the questions asked previously that we would address: how can we be empowered and take action without fear? By working with the exercise we have offered you, releasing your fear, and then stating what you are for, not what you are opposed to. And this is very important. You are creating. So you create by stating your desire. You do not create by stating your fear, for what you state is what you create. The energy that you habitate while in a state of creation is the energy that you use to create. So you do not habitate the energy of fear and anger and division and what you do not desire and the feelings that this triggers. You release these energies to the light of God in whatever way is cathartic, useful, healing for you, through release, through emotional release, through energetic release, through the release of the thoughts, through the release of the sound, through the release of the energy, through the release of the patterning. You release all of this. And then you clear your creative channel, your creative vessel for what you desire. And we would offer you an example of this. As the holy beloved of God, innocent and perfect for God's purpose, I open to receive, experience, and walk in a world where I and all my spiritual siblings are seen as holy, full, at one with me, in cooperation to experience a world of love, peace, and harmony. And you work with this layer after layer after layer, for the first thing that comes up in your consciousness is the idea that is Pollyanna, that is never going to work, or that is BS. And that is another layer of your consciousness that is in doubt and fear. And so you apply the light that you continually receive and continually invoke and continually allow to heal you to each and every deep layer of your being. And by doing so, you create and you activate the power of your desire instead of perpetuating using your energy, or what we say, misusing your energy, to perpetuate that to which you are opposed, opposing it, creating more pain. And this answers the question that was asked recently. Well, should we just sing Kumbaya, or should we be activists? Now, we have taken the question and we have used it for illustrative and humorous purposes, but you understand the essence of the question. And the answer is, be a spiritual activist and an activist on the earth for what you advocate. A spiritual activist working on yourself, healing yourself, an advocate on the earth. What do you advocate? What do you desire? What do you see? And you advocate and support that. Yes, you do your task on the earth plane. That means voting. That means educating beings. That means putting out information. That means doing what you feel called to do. That means donating to the candidates that reflect your values. Yes, 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 yes. But the most important aspect of this is the inner work that you do that allows the outer work to have optimal effect. And as each of you do this, it affects others. And we have quite often mentioned the Madagascar effect, where you, as a butterfly flapping your wings in Madagascar, can create an energy current that, as it travels across the ocean, becomes a hurricane elsewhere. This is the power of your light, for this is the power of the light of God that now inhabits your planet. So we would answer that question from before. In addition, another question was asked: how can we be aware of our history so as to not repeat it when there are those that would suppress history? Well, what you have seen and what will you see more in your political process is that energies that would suppress truth simply poke a sleeping bear. In other words, anytime books are banned, those books become bestsellers. And it heightens the discussion of the issues that some would avoid. And this is how it works. So do not fear this. Understand that when there is an action of suppression, it actually triggers the energy that cannot be suppressed. For at this time on the Earth's journey, the energy of light cannot be suppressed because the energy of light has already prevailed. Even though you see the last vestiges of it, of what you see as struggle in the chaos that you see, the light has already prevailed. And so, for example, more Americans are aware of certain historical inequalities than ever before as a result of the desire to suppress such information. And that will continue, which answers another question. Now, another question that has been asked is, how do I continue to have hope when each time something promising happens, something even scarier happens? And that is because each time you internalize a message of hope, it moves deeper into your consciousness where a deeper level of fear exists. And that fear is shown to you in the next episode of the soap opera called Your Electoral Process. And so each time you add more light, more light, more light, more healing, more of your vision of harmony, safety, peace, and abundance for all. And each time your vision is stronger and the historic vision of the past, which is being dissolved by light, is dissolved. Which brings us to the question of the seemingly clear and stark income inequality and how best will that be addressed on the earth. And that will be best addressed over the next several decades with new technologies that bring more abundance to all, and the healing of the human heart, where those who feel the need to hoard wealth will be healed to the degree that that need is no longer there. For example, certain of your entrepreneurs who feel the need to compensate or overcompensate for deep energy deficiencies by amassing wealth will not feel such, and some will die. And their wealth will be distributed to those who haven't the need to hoard wealth. In addition, energies of scientific exploration will, specifically as it relates to energy, which is a large component of the manufacturing process and a large component of all living expenses. Energy. We see energy as becoming practically free, freeing up a great deal of capital and cash flows to empower all humans. And this helps with income equality or less imbalance as it relates to incomes. Now, we would address some of the specific things that have occurred since our last discussion with you. We would address what you call the assassination attempt on your former president. This experience crystallizes what had been nebulous. What had been nebulous was the destructive nature of such stark divisions. And as the divisions and the chasms widened between parties and humans and Americans, the danger became more real. And this crystallized with this assassination attempt, which gives everyone an opportunity to re-examine how far humans have drifted from each other in hatred and rancor, and how unnecessary it is, and how destructive it is, and how deep is the pain that would move to such violence. And this creates what some would call a backlash, what we would call a gentle lash, a move back towards a certain degree of gentle accommodation and awareness, understanding, and and it brings out also a stark difference. When the presidential candidate, the former president, appeared to be slightly injured, America saw rage and anger and hatred. When your current president spoke to your nation, America saw calm, peace, gentleness yet strength, and wisdom. And this and other incidents to come will make this choice very stark. Does America want to be a nation angry and at war with itself? Or does America want to be a nation with peace and prosperity for all? You have made your choice. Other Americans have made theirs. But the ramifications of this choice and what they portend for the next several years have become quite clear. And humans, when they have full information, generally will opt for peace. And so much more information will come out over the next several months that give humans, especially in your country, an off-ramp to peace. Now, you wonder then what would happen with your former president and legal cases. There obviously will be more delays. But there will be balance ultimately. Balance in the form of accountability. So worry not about what you see and what it might portend in this moment. There is more information that will be revealed that will help you to see that there will be balance in the form of accountability here. And if you have other questions, you may put them in the comments if you have not yet. And we may work with the channel to do an interim broadcast available on his YouTube channel and through his mailing list. So if you have other questions and you would like them to be answered, it is possible that we would have the channel address those and make those results available on the channel's YouTube channel or through the channel's mailing list. Take a moment to breathe. And receive a final healing, a final blessing for now. However, we will continue working with you through this channel, for you are working for God to bring light to the earth. Just breathe. And breathe. And breathe. In the innocence and holiness I am, I shall not be afraid. In my state of innocence and holiness, I shall not be afraid. I shall be open to the light of God to manifest through me the world and experience I desire. You may work with this idea as you choose, for you are a channel of God's light, and God needs you to channel God's light. Be blessed, God's light, and be in God forever. All We have a few more minutes. If anybody has any comments, I'm going to look at them and see what we can do with them. Now, I don't see the YouTube comments yet. So I want to thank everybody for coming. My producer is busy today with some other work, so we don't have a moderator. But next week we will have a moderator again to ask additional questions. And yes, I'll put this recording out on YouTube as well as on my Facebook page, and we'll go from there. And I want to thank everybody. And I think that would be it for today. Thank you all for joining us. And be sure to share this generously with others who might benefit from this information. Everybody have a wonderful day.